Session 48. Auzu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We begin with the name of God, who is exceedingly kind and intensely merciful. Nahmaduhu nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. And we begin with blessings on the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the last and final prophet. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. We continue with Surah Fatiha, and in that the third verse, that is Malike Yawmuddin, the master of the day of requital, that is absolutely just punishment and reward based on the man's conduct in this world. The first 13 years of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his 70-odd companions at Makkah were almost a typecast of the life of Prophet Jesus, that is, avoiding of war. Then the Muslims, like Prophet Moses, and the Israelites reached a safe sanctuary, Medina. But thereafter, that is the Hijrah, marked the scintillating revolution, whereas the followers of Prophet Moses had refused to obey Allah and His Prophet. The followers of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, obeyed, and fighting in the way of Allah gave Islam such a boost, momentum, that not only has it survived 1500 years, the Qur'an and its teachings, the Sunnah, are still safe in the original shape. Thus, monotheism and belief in Yawmuddin, that is the day of requital, hereafter, that is just punishment and reward based on one deeds, hereafter forms the greatest divide in the mankind. I repeat, thus monotheism and belief, Yawmuddin, the day of requital, hereafter forms the greatest divide in the mankind. It will persist till the doomsday, and thereafter too, between heaven and hell. Now Surah 4 An-Nisa, verse 144. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la tattakhizul kafirina awliya'a min dunil mu'minin turiduna an taj'alu lillahi alaykum sultanum mubina. O believers, don't take the disbelievers as your protecting friends against the interest of the faithful believers. Do you want to earn the blatant vengeance of Allah by taking the disbelievers as friends? Surah Yunus, Surah 11, Yunus, verse 113. وَلَا تَرْكَنُوا إِلَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا فَتَمَسَّكُمُ النَّارُ وَمَا لَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِنْ أَوْلِيَاءَ ثُمَّ لَا تُنصَرُونَ. And don't ever get inclined towards those who are unjust, the disbelievers, agnostics, lest you be taken by the fire of hell, and you have absolutely none to protect against the wrath of Allah. You will not find assistance, refuge anywhere in both the worlds. You will not find assistance, refuge anywhere in both the worlds. With regard to Yawmuddin, the day of requital, which is the subheading of our lecture of these sessions. Surah 7 Al-Araf, verse 8-9. وَالَّذِينَ يَوْمَئِذٍ الْحَقُّ فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يَظْلِمُونَ. And on that day, the scale of justice shall be established. Then those whose scales of good deeds are heavy, so those are the ones who will attain felicity. And those whose measures are light are the ones who have ruined themselves for the reason that they had done injustice to our revelations. They had not followed the Qur'an. Now, 32 Surah Al-Ahzab 4 verse 10. وَقَالُوا أَإِذَا زَلَلْنَا فِي الْأَرْضِ أَإِنَّا لَفِي خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. And they say, when we are dead and gone, when we are dead and gone into the earth, will we be recreated right from the beginning anew? The process of creation of man has been repeated 60 billion times. That is, about 60 billion people have come into existence so far as of today. Sperms are the evisceration of the male and the female, the extracts of all they consume from the land. So is the process of the metabolism based and dependent on things that one eats or drinks. Nothing falls from the heavens, all from the earth. So will man be eviscerated and metabolized from the earth again. As regards the soul, it's the amr, the order of Allah, injected into the embryo, then pulled out at the time of death, held back with Allah till it is reinserted, re-injected. As His order again, re-injected as His order again on the doomsday, Yawmuddin, the day of requital, that is absolutely just reward and punishment based on one's deeds and conduct in this world. Is there any logic, sensible argument in the world to prove that whereas man can reproduce, remanufacture what he has made, produced, manufactured once, but Allah cannot? I say again, is there any logic, sensible argument in the world to prove that whereas man can reproduce, remanufacture what he has made, produced, manufactured once, but Allah cannot? We continue with Surah Al-Qariya, verse 1 to 5. Al-Qariyatu mal-Qariya wa ma adraka mal-Qariya yawma yakunu an-nasu kal-farashil mabsus wa takunu al-jibalu kal-ihnil manfush. Al-Qariya, the striking event. What is that striking event? And what do you perceive? Gauge what that striking event, the greatest disaster, is. The day the people would be lying scattered like moth, and mountains lifted off, dissembled as carded wool. I repeat, the day the people would be lying scattered like moth, and mountains lifted off, dissembled as carded wool. The rattling, the disaster that will make the bodies rattle and sink the mourning hearts will with bated breath judder shake up the mankind, besmirch, dishonor some, and besmangle, decorate others, a foretaste of hell or a forerunner of heaven. No one knows anything about it but what Allah chooses to disclose Himself and let people know. No one knows anything about it but what Allah chooses to disclose Himself and let people know. Mockers would be put on the mankind. The first chapter closed with the first great bugle making the end of the present world. It will be the day people, men, women, and children, infants will be lying like scattered, my apologies, will be lying scattered, spread as helplessly as the dead moth, will be scattered, spread as helplessly as the dead moth, terminating with the death, disintegration, non-existence of everything, including all angels. The solar system, all stars, planets, galaxies shall disintegrate, oceans evaporate, and earth destabilized, then stretched and flattened, all living things dying off. Thereafter, Allah would order the death of all the angels, and no angel shall remain alive. Everything would become de-dropped, not wanted. Nothing would be left at all except Allah. Everything under His steel, everything under His heel. It will be a rejoinder to all that Allah can kill, destroy, disintegrate, eliminate, in totality, do away with all and sundry and everything, every creation, whenever He likes, and recreate them anytime He prefers, rejig the universes, rearrange, reorganize, refit the way He likes. Angel Gabriel, would be the first to be re-raised, followed by all other angels. Thereafter, on the second great bugle, the entire mankind would be brought to life. I repeat, thereafter, on the second great bugle, the entire mankind would be brought to life. Jazakallah. That's all for today. Please pray for me. Ex-Brigadier Mustansir Billah.